Nicole Mittendorf has authored the Live It List Journal to help you on your way. It's actually the second journal that she's written, and I'm happy to have Nicole on the show. Nicole, you've been on the show many times because you're a financial planner. You've helped us with a lot of thoughts on money. But this, when people think about that bucket list, they think they have to save all their money in the bucket to do those things.
Right.
And then you're saying, no, don't think of it that way, right?
Right. It's all about living presently and what can you do today? Because unfortunately, like we just had a client pass away last week. Life is so short and you never know. And this came about because in 2010, from the outside, my life looked perfect. I'd been doing my radio show, had written my first book, living on Lake Minnetonka. But every single thing in my life I had not picked out myself, and I had to come to terms with the fact that I was a victim of domestic violence. So I always had lists. My coach, one of my coaches from figure skating, had her PhD in psychology. So she just always worked with me with the power of your mind, and like, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And I always had lists. So I rewrote my bucket list. Well, when you tell people you're doing something on your bucket list, they think you're dying. And my world was so negative, I'm like, I need something positive. So I just started calling it the Live It List. And I continue to do one thing a month, every month, and it keeps me focused on life and living fully and living with happiness.
So you had this tragedy or this absolute difficult time in your life, so you came out of it that way. And so people say, okay, how do you actually go about doing these things? Like, you obviously need to financially plan for maybe some big trips, but you're saying it can be small things too, right?
Right. And that's why I came out with the journal, because I wanted something that I could track what I was doing, where I was going. And when you go and do something on your Live It list, you then meet other people and they're like, oh, have you gone dog sledding? Oh, have you done this? And it can be as simple as going to a movie. The most difficult thing for me to accomplish that's in my list is going to a movie by myself. I just haven't been able to do it. Like, you don't have to hop on a plane and go to Dubai. Like, it can be simple. Having a pillow fight with your kids or your grandkids. It's all about being very intentional and being very present.
Yeah, well, you were dog sledding yesterday with your team.
Yes.
It's like, just go and do it. Make the plan and go and do it. So in here, you've got a happiness wheel and also ideas about vision boards. Why are those important?
Because it's all about being present and figuring out, okay, I'm not happy with my life. And what can I do? And if you think about everything from finances to where you're living, to your romantic relationships, to your friends, to your family, it can be overwhelming. And the whole point is, let's just do one thing a month, and let's come up with one area that you want to focus on. So maybe it's your health. And for me, that was the health. So I joined Peloton. I made some changes in my life to really make that a priority and make that a focus. And then the vision board, I used to always have the vision boards like in my office. I wanted one that I could like carry with me. And so I took my team up north to Ely and we went dog sledding. And then at night, we sat down and we all put our vision boards together. And so it's all about, I really believe if you look at something and you say something out loud, you have greater chance of that happening versus just thinking, oh, I'd love to take my family to Hawaii. You could keep saying that year after year after year, and we make all these New Year's resolutions, but do they actually really happen? And so I wanted a tool to make things happen for me, let alone now share it with everyone.
Okay, I love that. And it's just a great way, a journal, to write things down. You really lead people through all these things to be able to figure it out. And then when it comes to, gathering the money for some of these more expensive things and put those down the line a bit, but put things in between now and then, right?
Absolutely. When my kids were 3 and 4, I was told when they're 13 and 14, that is the perfect time to take them on an African safari. So I then open up an account. I'm a single mom, receiving no child support, paying spousal maintenance, but I'm like, okay, in 10 years, I've got 10 years to accumulate this money to take them to Africa. So what happens? For 10 years, you're saving money. You're talking to your kids about this. And people ask, what was your favorite Live It List experience? It was taking my kids to Africa and petting a cheetah. Now that the kids are teenagers and even older, we still talk about that trip, and we will be talking about that for the rest of our lives.
So even if it seems absolutely impossible,
it's
like
not.
You were saying, your scenario, you were able to do it. Just have to give yourself enough time.
Absolutely.
I think it's great. I think it's great to write things down and to actually vocalize things too, because then you can, and having that in the distance, whatever it is, the finish line for your career and what you're moving on for is really important. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. You're very welcome.
We'll let people know how they can find you and also find this book. We have a link to the Live It List Journal on carol11.com/Saturday and also a connection with Nicole. Coming up next.